Hey everyone, and welcome back. Let's continue with the interaction system. I'm going to close my input mapping context. We don't need it anymore. I can also close the controller. Let's see, maybe I can close this as well. Yeah, I can. Let's close it. And let's open up the inventory component. Or maybe we should do this. Yeah, let's open up the inventory component. Let's create two functions. The first function is going to be called add overlapping item. And what I'll need is a new variable called overlapping items. This will be of type interaction base object reference. And let's make this variable an array. So when we overlap an item, we'll add an instance to this array, and then we'll get the value, or get the first index that we are overlapping and pick it up. And then whatever is index 0, we'll continuously pick it up, so we can always get one item at a time when we try to interact with it. So for the add overlapping item function, I'm just going to bring this into the graph and search for add. The inputs, we can just drag this in, and I'll call this, new item is fine, I guess. Or let's rename it to be item to add. Yeah, item to add. And now let's duplicate this function. I'll call this remove overlapping item. I'll call this item to remove. I'll delete this add node and search for remove item. Plug this up and we're good. We can also make this overlapping items variable private and placed in the private category. Now these two need to be public because we're going to try to access this from the interaction base. So I'm going to drag this into public, close this off, and now we need an event dispatcher to call within our interaction base when the interaction action is actually completed. Let me think a bit. Let's do the perform interaction function first. Yeah. Let's call this perform interaction. It's going to be simple. We're going to get the private overlapping items variable, check if it contains anything. So if it's not empty, I'll then add a branch. And if the array contains something, then let's get it. Get a copy of index 0, which will be the first item that we are overlapping within the array. We'll make sure this item is valid. If it's valid, then we can call the interaction completed function. Let's create that interface now within the interaction folder. New folder, interfaces, open it up. And this interface will contain the interaction complete function. So I'll name this BPI interaction. Let's open it up. Call the first function interaction completed. This will take a few inputs. So let's add one for the owner. So in case we need access to the player character when the time comes, I'm going to search for actor. And I'm going to call this input owner. So this will be the owning actor. Then we'll need a reference to our inventory because we'll need to add items to our inventory when we pick an item up. So this will be AC inventory as a reference here. Hit compile and save. Now let's head back to AC inventory and call this function, which is interaction completed. So I'm going to right click and search for it. And the targets will come from this get. and the owner, we can just search for get owner, since it's going to have the exact same owner anyway. And for the AC inventory reference, since we're already here, we can search for get a reference to self. Great. The next step would be to call this perform interaction public function from our input graph, which we have in our player controller. So let's open this up, head to the event graph, and I'll add the IA interact action event. We'll just call this off of started because we don't want this to be triggered constantly. We can get that from, let's search for it. So let's get our main, it's not inventory, get RPG. I guess we don't have one. A reference to, okay, yeah, we have it. So let's get the main inventory. And from here we can do perform interaction. Connect this to the started pin, and now we can perform our interaction. In the inventory, I'll just override the event tick so we can debug this. I'm going to call a print string, get the overlapping items, and let's get the length of the array. So we can know that when we overlap an item, we're actually adding an item to the array and then we're trying to access that item and interact with it. I'll set the duration to be 0 so it doesn't, spam my screen with texts. I'll give it the color of yellow, and that's fine. Now let's open up the interaction base here, and we can check if the other actor, meaning the actor that's currently overlapping the item within the world, contains the inventory component, because only the player character will contain that component within the components tab as shown right here. So I'll get that other actor, and search for get components by class. I don't think we have any interfaces here. No. Okay, that's fine. So let's search for the inventory component, check if it's valid, and if the other actor has the component, then we can drag right here and search for add overlapping item, and the item to add will be self. So let's get a reference to self, and then I'll duplicate this, bring it down, connect the other actor. I'll delete this function and search for remove overlapping item, and the item to remove would be self as well. So let's test this out and make sure that items are being added and when they are not. And before we do that, I think we should add the interface. So let's select class settings, head to interfaces, and implement our new BPI interaction interface. We can double click on this to override it. And right now we have access to the owner and the inventory. So I'll just add a print string right here to say interaction called. And this will be triggered if we are overlapping an item and we hit our E key. So let's hit play and let's go. So you can see right now our overlapping items array contains 0 elements. So I overlap this, it now turns to 1. When I end overlap, it gets removed. So if I overlap again and I hit E, you can see interaction called. So that means we are able to pick this item up. The only thing we're not doing right now is displaying our interaction UI on screen, and we can do this really easy. Let's see. Let's open up our main HUD. So let's go to core files, widgets, and open up our main HUD. And then we can search for our WB interaction widget and place it in the canvas panel. I'll then set size to content to be true so we can get the exact size of the widget. And then I'll hold Shift and Control and select my center anchor. And just for a bit of offset, because we don't want this in the way of our crosshair or our line of sight, I'll give it a position X offset of maybe 100, 150, 200. Yeah, let's do 150. Later we can adjust. So let's make this hidden by default. Head to the event graph, create a new function called, let's call it set interaction visibility. Let's head back to the designer and make sure that this WB interaction is a variable, and then head back to the graph, bring this in and search for set visibility, and we can plug this visibility to the input so we can toggle it whenever we need to. Now let's head to the interaction base again, and we need this from the main HUD, which we already have a reference to from our RPG HUD. So let's get RPG HUD. We'll then get the main HUD. And now we can call set interaction visibility. So when we overlap an item, we'll make this visible, and when we end overlap, we'll hide it again. So let's see. We walk up, it showed on screen, I can hit E, interaction called, and I can back away, and it gets removed. Now let's test this properly. So I'm going to remove my starting items from the inventory here. Delete this. So now we won't have any items when we start the game. And let's head to the interaction base. Off of the completed here, we can call our add item to inventory function from this reference. Now it's asking for an item to add. We'll deal with that in a bit. First, let's add a branch. And when we added the item successfully to the inventory, we can then destroy this actor from the world. The item to add, we can use the function access item to add. This is why it's really good to make certain functions global, like access to your HUD, controller, and whatever you need it for. Then I'll connect the return value here, and for the data asset we can just plug this up, and then we can make the quantity a variable as well, and we can make this instance editable. So we can first check if this variable is valid, because if we try to interact with an item with an invalid data asset, we will get an error. So I'm going to duplicate this, right click and convert this to a validated get, and only if the data asset is valid, then we would proceed to add the item to the inventory. Let's head back to the world, select this item, and assign the test item data asset to it. I'll give it a quantity of 1, which, by the way, I recommend you give a default value to your quantity as 1, so you won't have to always set that. And now let's hit play and give it a test. I can open up my inventory, you can see we don't have anything, and then let's overlap this item, hit E, it gets removed from our overlapping items array, so you can see the print string says 0, and now I can open my inventory and it assigned itself to the first available slot found within our inventory. And that's how we set up this interaction system. What we can do now is right click and equip this item, and it will assign itself to the slot based on the settings that we provided in the data asset. If you want to take things up a notch, what you can do is set the static mesh, the item mesh, on the event construct as well, so that when you open up your world, you'll see the data asset, interaction range, quantity, and static mesh. So you can set that at runtime whenever you need to, whenever you need it to set it, right? Great. I'll do that in the next episode in a much different way. I'll probably add that to our data asset itself so that we don't always have to click on each item and then assign a mesh to it by scrolling through the hundreds of assets that you probably have within your project. So we'll set this up in a bit. That's it for this one, guys. See you in the next one.